Do you ever just think to yourself, man, I am a loser? I mean, there's nothing worse than having a low self-esteem and believing that your life sucks. Usually when you get to the point where you say, I'm a loser, you usually judge yourself based off of a certain amount of criteria. For example, one might call himself a loser if they don't feel like they have a good job, if they're not making a lot of money, if they don't have a lot of friends, or if they're just not happy with their life. I would have to admit that I have said this to myself several times in my life where I just thought, man, I'm just a loser. And normally when you start labeling yourself as a loser, you start associating yourself with other people that also call themselves losers. And this is how friendships are formed. This is how groups of people get together. And we reach a point where you start calling those groups of people by different names, right? These are the outcasts, these are the dorks, these are the losers. I mean, losers is probably the best word that we can use to describe these people. And yeah, it's true, I've always felt like I have been an outcast and somebody who is in that group of people called the losers. See, there's a difference between you calling yourself a loser and other people calling you losers. If other people are calling you a loser, they're just freaking mean. That's just not even cool. But if you're calling yourself a loser, this has to be one of the most heartbreaking things ever in the world, because that shows that you have a low self-esteem, that shows that you don't like your life, that shows that you're probably depressed, and you probably just don't love yourself enough. And that is a really, really sad thing. So the weird thing about this is that I've always found myself on this kind of borderline, thinking of myself as a loser versus thinking of myself as a winner, which is obviously the opposite of being a loser. And that's because I've kind of just been associated with a lot of different people, and I've been around a lot of different types of education and types of lifestyles. And you know, it's like I compare myself to those at the top, to those that I think of as the best, the winners, the elite, whatever you want to call them. And when I compare myself to them, you know, 99% of the time I'm not going to be judging myself in a good way. I'm not going to think of myself as being comparable to anybody that great. But then you can always find somebody who seems to have a more pathetic life than you. And that always makes you feel good about yourself, to know that you're better than somebody else. And the problem with that is if you start doing that enough, you're going to become one of those mean, arrogant assholes who goes around thinking that you're better than other people. Now, I have to admit, it's kind of hard not to look at some people and say, you know what, I think my life is a little bit better than them. And that's not being mean, honestly. That's just, I guess that's just having confidence in your own life. But yeah, that can get you into trouble if you keep doing that a lot. So anyway, I'm going to move on, talking about something else now. At a young age, I started really looking into this personal development, self-help kind of material, because I always thought of myself as a loser. So I thought, man, what if I studied all of these rich, successful, happy people and learned how they get to be winners in their life and get to be super great. And if I could learn those types of things and act the way they act and do the things they do, you know, I might be able to get out of this slump of being a loser, and I might be able to make something of myself. So I got inspired at a young age of 14, and I've been motivated to start changing my life ever since. And to be honest with you, a lot of things have happened in my life that have made me feel better about myself, and I have definitely come a long way. And ultimately it's led me to where I'm at right now with making this YouTube channel, making videos, putting myself out there in the world, educating myself, reading a lot of books, becoming smarter and wiser, and working on how I'm feeling, because being depressed is not a good thing, and I've had a lot of struggles with that. So, you know, I've come a long way, and I think I've overcome this idea of being a loser. But then again, here I am at 19 sitting in front of you, and the past few days I started thinking of myself as a loser again. I started having those thoughts again. You know, if I had to come up with a solution to this problem of why you or I would call ourselves losers, is to honestly just stop comparing yourself to other people. Somehow you need to come to grips with the idea that you are as great as you can possibly be in your life. And as long as you're giving your best effort, that's all that you need. You are good enough when you give your best effort and when you try as hard as you can. There is always room to grow, and if you always look at yourself as not being good enough, if you always look at yourself as being a loser, of missing out on certain qualities and traits as other people, then you're going to have a very negative outlook on life, and that's going to just bring you spiraling down into this depression, and you might make some bad decisions because of it. So I don't want you to do that. Please just understand that you are so great just being the way that you are. You are not a loser. And if you want to think of yourself as a loser, then realize that there are other people having the same thoughts as you. Find those people, talk to them about it, and don't stay in this negative mindset. Okay, there's a lot of tools out there for you to start thinking positively and getting yourself together, and I highly advise you to go find those things and start making changes in your life. In reality, I think that all of the greatest people that have ever lived have once thought of themselves as being losers. Everybody, including the greatest, believe that they are somehow lacking everything that they need, and they feel bad about their own lives, and they have these negative thoughts, and they get depressed. So just because you're feeling these things doesn't mean that you can't one day become one of those great people. Just be happy with your life and don't think of yourself as a loser. So that's really the point that I want to get out to you. Learn to love yourself, and when you do that, amazing things are going to come into your life. Anyway, thanks for watching this video. My name is Kenneth Stahl. If you'd like to hear more from me, please subscribe to this YouTube channel. Also, please visit my website and check out all the great things there. You can read my blog posts, you can also buy t-shirts, and I have this amazing CD that you can buy to help put yourself in the right mindset and truly reach amazing heights in your life. So please purchase that. And with that being said, share this video with your friends and followers, and I hope that you have a great day. So please don't forget about me. I'll see you later in my next video.